guys, it's Anissa. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am doing a review for you guys over the new Jaclyn Cosmetics Complexion products. This is the Skin Blurring Tint and this is the Perfecting Concealer. I wanted to go ahead and take this video as an opportunity to try out a couple of other Jaclyn Cosmetics products that I have been wanting to try, but these two are the main ones that we are focusing on today. This is the look that we were able to come up with today using these products and a couple others. So if you are interested to see my thoughts on these two, hit or miss, let's find out together. If that sounds like something that would interest you, then make sure to keep on watching. But before we go any further, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. I post on this channel every 4 days, so you never have to miss me for too long. If you guys love reviews, lucky for you, I have a whole playlist that I will put right up here for you guys to check out after you're done watching this video. Let's just go ahead and get into it. All right, guys, so before we get into the complexion and actually testing the skin tint and the concealer, I do have a couple other Jaclyn products that I want to incorporate and try in today's video. Went ahead and did my brows off camera for like the first time ever. I'm really excited to share today's eyeshadow palette with you guys because it is something that I have been loving and have not been able to share with you guys because I've been testing so much new makeup. This has been one of my favorite go-to everyday palettes. This is the Morphe X Jaclyn Hill Divine Neutrals eyeshadow palette, and this is what it looks like. First, I'm just going to go ahead and mix the colors Baked and Good Vibes, and I'm gonna put those in my crease with a bigger fluffy brush. But I have been meaning to try more from Jaclyn Cosmetics because honestly, it's been very hit or miss, okay? I've either loved what I've tried or I've hated what I tried. Her lip liners, which I will be trying a few new shades of later in today's video, are some of my favorites. They have the most creamy formula and the colors are just perfect. She makes one of the only loose highlighters that I like. But do you guys see how pigmented these colors are? When I found out that Jaclyn was coming out with makeup, a whole makeup line after the lipsticks, I was like, oh Lord, here we go. What's she getting herself into? Because, you know, she's been through it. She's been through the freaking ringer, and I really just feel for her. And honestly, I have been loving her Jaclyn's Journey series. I just love when YouTubers, especially beauty YouTubers, let you into different parts of their life because you really get to see what kind of person they are outside of makeup. And that's why it's really important to me that I share parts of my life outside of makeup with you guys. I think that being vulnerable like that and allowing people into your life is something clearly not everybody chooses. It's not for everybody, but when you're able to do that, I think that it allows people to be a little bit more empathetic towards you, which, you know, we should be empathetic towards everybody. You never know what somebody's going through. You really, really don't. I'm gonna take a smaller crease brush and I'm going to go in with this color Boo Bear right here, and I want to concentrate that more into my crease. See, it just adds a little bit more dimension to the eye. I'm gonna go in with a clean, kind of medium-sized fluffy brush and just go back and forth. Before we go in with our shimmer, I do want to deepen up the outside of the crease a little bit. So I'm gonna take this color Cinnamon Roll right here with a more dense brush, and I'm just going to place that right on the outside, right here. This part that you do right here is going to determine what type of eye shape you're creating. So sometimes if I want to create a more elongated shape, I will bring the shadow out more, but I kind of want to do something more rounded today because I'm not doing liner. Usually if I'm doing liner, I like to elongate. Just to make sure we don't have any harshness, I'm just going to blend the outside of that and also the inside. And this right here is one of the key things that I think is so important with helping the dark crease color and your lid color come together. Don't forget to blend out the inside. Just gonna go in with these two colors right here, which are Exposed and Striptease, and I'm just gonna go in with my finger and place those right on the blank spot that is left. At first, I wasn't loving the shimmers in here because they look a little bit more glittery in the pan than they do on the eye, but I love this for every day. Just going in with a clean blending brush to blend my crease color and the lid color together, and then also just slightly sweeping that shimmer to the outside of the lid. That way you have a pretty gradient. And depending on if your eyes are hooded or if they're not hooded will depend on how much blending you have to do. The more hooded your eyes are, the less blending you have to do because your eyelids kind of conceal most of it for you. This does not look the same as this does. Now I have some eyeshadow toppers that I want to share with you guys. Went ahead and picked up 2 of them. These are the Jaclyn shimmer top coats, and I have the colors Frozen and Glisten. I am in love with the packaging on these. It is so unique. So you have a really pretty, nice mirrored top, and then this frosted glass component on the bottom. This is what Glisten looks like, and then this is Frozen. They are very similar to one another. I just think Frozen is a little bit more coppery, bronzy, and dark. I want to use Glisten today. Spray it with a little bit of setting spray, and I'm really just going to put this right over where I placed the shimmery color. I love using eyeshadow toppers because I feel like they just give a little bit more dimension to the eye, and if you feel like your eyeshadow look isn't there yet, if you feel like it's missing something, an eyeshadow topper will usually do the trick. And of course, I mean, you can use these on their own as well, but I found that when you use them on top of something else, it kind of gives them a little bit more dimension. Before, after. I'm gonna go ahead and use my finger. Ooh, okay, now that I can actually feel these, they're very creamy. They're not chunky feeling at all, which is, I know, a reason that a lot of people do not like to use things that have a little bit more glitter in them. Now we are going to try the products that I'm sure you're all here to see. We're gonna go ahead and move on to Complexion. I did do a little bit of skin prep. For primer mist today, I went ahead and used the Rare Beauty Always an Optimist 4-in-1 mist. For primer, I always use a hydrating primer and a more mattifying / blurring primer. This new skin tint is going to act as my blurring / mattifying primer, so I went ahead and just used a hydrating primer, and today used one of my favorites, the MILANI Chill Out Soothing Face Primer. Now we are ready for the fun part. Jaclyn Cosmetics Skin Perfecting Blurring Tint, and I got mine in the color tan. I'm hoping that this is going to be a good color. First impressions, this packaging is beautiful. I love the component on this. You get sheer coverage that smooths, blurs, and enhances skin's appearance for an effortless, no makeup look with a natural finish. I'm reading the online description here, and it says that it is doing double duty as a blurring primer and a tinted moisturizer. The sheer coverage wonder delivers a natural finish that blurs texture and enhances the look of your skin for that just woke up glow. I don't know if you guys can see on the bottom of this component, but there's a little bit of space in between, like where it looks like product is missing from the bottom. You notice a little extra space at the bottom of your blurring tint. That's an airless pump. An airless pump was chosen over a traditional pump because it lets you use 100% of the product so you don't miss a drop. It also ensures even dosage, reduces oxidation, and encourages the overall shelf life. It is only available in 12 shades, and I actually did watch her Instagram reel on this, and she said that the reason that she only did 12 shades in this is because it's supposed to have coverage is more sheer, meaning that one shade is supposed to be able to fit multiple shades of people, but I still don't feel like 12 is very many, because if you look at the shade range on this, it goes from really light to really dark, and then there's not really many colors to choose from in like the medium skin tones. And the only reason I'm saying that is because the skin tint comes in like 12 shades, but then the concealer comes in like 30. So I feel like you could have even done 25 shades and been like, well, I only had 25 shades because of this. That's way better than 12. I get where she was going, but you could have put a few more shades in there. So this does retail for $34. Before I apply this, I did want to mention to you guys that this reminds me of a drugstore product that many of you may not be very familiar with. I tried it on my channel a very long time ago, and you guys have really, again, not been able to see a lot of the products that I have been liking that I've tried already because I have so much new makeup to try. Immediately, this Jaclyn Cosmetics skin tint reminded me of this Essence tinted primer. I actually really like this. It is silicone based. If you don't like silicone based primers, you're not gonna like this, but it does actually give a little bit of coverage to the skin. So I love using this if I'm using a more medium coverage foundation because it makes it possible to achieve full coverage with that medium coverage foundation. I just wanted to mention that. Let me know if you guys have tried this. This does not come in many shades, so maybe we have a dupe on our hands. I don't know. Let me know if you guys have heard anybody mention this when talking about this. It says that you can apply it with a medium synthetic brush or your fingertips. And it says that you can wear it alone or use it as a primer under your favorite complexion products, which is what I am going to do. We'll do half brush, half fingers. I think this is gonna be a little bit light, but it's okay because we're gonna put products on top of it. Oh yeah, that is way too light. Usually I only apply my mattifying and blurring primers to my T-zone, but we're just gonna wing it for today. That's what I'm talking about. This is the tan color. This is not tan. I would say that I would be tan because I'm really not that dark. So there should be a lot of shades darker than me. And for this to be tan, okay, so we're gonna go ahead and blend it out. It is adding coverage. I can tell that it is concealing, especially my redness. First of all, I would not be able to wear this on its own because it is not my color. I needed to go darker. If you look at the tan girl, she's pretty close to my color. Like, she actually may be a little bit darker than me. There's no shades between tan and deep. No way would I have been able to use deep. That would have been way too dark. And honestly, I would usually rather go lighter than darker because when you go darker, it's very easy for your foundation to look muddy. It wasn't hard to blend out. I really don't feel like my pores look smaller. I'm not crazy about it. Now I'm gonna use my fingers on this side of my face. I'm having flashbacks right now to my childhood. If you've watched any of my videos with my mom in it, she's a little bit lighter than I am, and when I was younger, I would use her makeup, and this is exactly what my face would look like. The reason that I feel the need to use the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter underneath my makeup is because it gives my face like a very healthy glow that is just amazing when paired with pretty much any foundation, okay? I loved it immediately from when I first put on my skin. This, I'm not loving. I don't feel like it really added a healthy glow. I feel like especially on my forehead looks shiny. It does not look healthy and glowy. And I love the fact that I have oily skin because my forehead is like the be all tell all. I will expose you in anything. This is not something that I would be like, oh, I have to use this underneath my makeup because I know that it's gonna make my makeup look amazing. Keep in mind, I haven't put the foundation on my face yet, but that's just first impression. I don't feel like this is life-changing for me. I do have one more primer that I want to use, Jaclyn Cosmetics Hydrating Under Eye Primer. And the reason that I want to use this, even though I've already used eye cream and done all of my other moisturizing stuff, is because I've heard that this concealer is very, very dry. So I was like, maybe if I use her Hydrating Under Eye Primer, it won't be as drying. But at the same time, I feel like this is something that you should not have to do because if you read the instructions, it recommends that you use this and the concealer together, not the concealer and the Hydrating Under Eye Primer together. First impressions, I don't know. I think I'm gonna give that skin tint like 5 out of 10. For foundation, I'm going to be using this Maybelline Superstay 24-Hour Full Coverage Foundation, and I have the color 356 Warm Coconut. This is my summer shade, so I'm thinking that I'm gonna have to mix a little bit of my mixing pigment in. I'm going to be using both of these mixing pigments today. These are the LA Girl Foundation Mixing Pigments. I'm gonna be using the color blue and the color white. I'm gonna use the color white because this shade is a little bit too dark for me, and then I'm gonna use blue because it's a little bit too warm for me. I can tell you that that primer did not do an awesome job filling in my pores and blurring them because I can still see pretty much all of the huge pores that are in my T-zone, especially around my nose. Before I put this on my face, we're gonna do a side-by-side wear test to see which one does better. I feel like that is gonna be the easiest way for me to show you guys what I'm talking about. Now I'm gonna use this on this side of my face. Color match is clearly a lot better. I just wanna show you guys what I mean when I say that this does such a better job of filling in my pores and also actually gives a little bit more coverage. Look at that. My face feels so much smoother. And look at my forehead. My forehead looks way smoother. This is what it looks like now. And the fact that this is a fraction of the cost, the only difference between this and the Jaclyn primer is that the Jaclyn primer claims to give a little bit more of a glow. This is not going to give you a glow. This claims to give you a natural matte finish. This side of my face looks way more filtered than this side. This side actually looks like, if you compare the two sides of my face, you would think that I've had the makeup on this side longer than I have on this side. And it's not just because this has a matte finish and this has a more natural finish. It's because of the fact that you can still see pretty much all of my texture versus over here, the texture is a lot more blurred. Now we're gonna go ahead and try this concealer, Jaclyn Cosmetics Perfecting Concealer, and I got the color Tan Golden. This claims to be a buildable medium to full coverage concealer that visibly brightens, blurs, and flexes with the skin for a flawless finish all day. It comes in 35 shades, which is, I mean, better than the 12 that we get from the Skin Tint. It claims to have a matte finish. It retails for $26. In my opinion, the fact that this is a matte concealer, okay, nobody cares, that's fine. Nothing against matte concealers. I have plenty of matte concealers that I love. If I was Jaclyn and I knew that I had a hydrating under eye primer, and in the back of my mind, I'm knowing, okay, well, not everybody likes a super matte concealer, I would have recommended to pair it with the Hydrating Under Eye Primer. I'm actually going to take the Hydrating Under Eye Primer off from underneath one eye to see how much of a difference this hydrating primer makes, if it makes any difference at all. The color looks like it's going to be okay for me. Comes with your traditional doe foot applicator. I'm gonna do one eye at a time as well because this is matte, so it may dry down a little bit quicker. I would definitely say that's medium to full. More on the full side, not super full. I used to tell you guys in the past that I did not like to watch other reviews before I reviewed products, but I found now that I do like to watch reviews because I want to make sure that I am giving you guys the most well-rounded review that I can. I like to see what other people's opinions are, if there's a way that they're applying it that I may not have thought to apply it to get optimal results. Okay, well, it definitely settled. I do have some fine lines. It definitely is separating and looking a little bit dry. This is something I do with all concealers because I do have fine lines underneath my eyes, okay? I don't expect concealer to get rid of them. I just expect it to not look weird. And it's looking like I maybe did not act fast enough because it's not doing anything. I'm gonna go ahead and apply it with a brush over here. That way I can really get into those areas. But it's not the worst thing I've tried. I'm wondering if using that under eye primer kind of gave me a little bit of extra time to blend it out because things that tend to be matte do tend to have a little bit of a quicker dry time. I do feel like I got a little bit more coverage with this brush than I did with the sponge, but I'm having a little bit of a harder time blending the product out. In general, you should not have to buy extra products to make a product work. There's a difference between having to buy 2 products to make one product work and having a product that works really well on its own and then finding that something else makes it work better. This is better than the skin tint. First impressions. Finished the rest of my makeup. Almost done with the makeup. I did want to go ahead and show you guys this highlighter. Jaclyn Cosmetics Megawatt loose highlighter in the color Megawatt. This is one of my favorites. A little bit goes a long way. I usually just use whatever is in the lid. I went ahead and finished the eyes, so now we are ready for lips. I do have 2 new lip colors in her lip liners. These are the 2 new colors that I have. This top one is Bold Brew, the bottom one is Coffee Cake. I have the color Toasty right now, which I absolutely love. It is the perfect muted brown. This is Bold Brew, this is Coffee Cake. I honestly want to use both because Coffee Cake is a little bit too light for me. I like to always have something dark as a lip liner and then use something lighter as my actual lip color. I'm gonna go in with Coffee Cake in the middle. This is the completed makeup look. It doesn't look bad. I feel like I look really pretty. It is currently 10:50. I started filming at about 10 o'clock, but before I get off of here, I did want to mention that I did use one of my favorite powders underneath my eyes, the DERMABLEND loose setting powder in the color Original. I feel like it did make the under eyes feel and look a little bit more dry. Usually I always set underneath my eyes, whether I'm using a more matte finish concealer or not, but I honestly feel like this concealer does not need loose setting powder, but at the same time, I've used concealers that are cheaper than this and work better. Neither one of them are necessary to have. Like, I can think of things that are cheaper than both of these that do a better job. Again, on this side of my face, I have the Essence Tinted Primer. On this side of my face, I have this. I will check in with you guys in a little bit, but as of right now, thinking both of those products are gonna get returned. So it is 8 o'clock, so I've had this makeup on for 10 very long hours, but I wanted to go ahead and of course conclude today's video before taking my face of makeup off. This right here is what the Jaclyn Cosmetics side looks like from far away, and then this is what the Essence side looks like from far away. First impressions, forehead is looking about the same on both sides, honestly, but in my T-zone right here, I feel like I look slightly more filtered over here than I do over here. What I mean when I say that is that I feel like I can see my pores just a little bit more prominently on this side and then over here. My cheeks still look pretty good on both sides. I was expecting to like the skin tint more than the concealer based on the reviews that I've seen, but I honestly like the concealer more than the skin tint. Now, I'm gonna be returning both of these because in my opinion, quite frankly, when products are this expensive, you should be able to tell somewhat of a visible difference or feel something about the product initially. Like, I should not have to try super hard to make these products work. I just feel like these are not some of her better products. My favorite products that I would recommend to you guys would be the loose highlighters and the lip liners. Everything else is like, you can do without. For somebody with oilier skin, I definitely would recommend the Essence Primer over this one. I don't know. I don't know if it has anything to do with the fact that my skin is oily and maybe I'm not liking this, but I really don't think that's what's it, because I have plenty of natural glowy products that I like and are fine with my skin. I hate to end the video on that note, but I don't know what else to say. If you guys have tried these products, please let me know down in the comments. Let me know if you guys are going to try these products, if you've seen other reviews, what are your thoughts? So I'm getting ready to upload this video, and I wanted to say a couple things that I think are really important for you guys to know if you're interested in buying these products. I don't know if I mentioned it or not in the video, but when I originally bought these products to begin with, I had 2-day shipping because I wanted to get the review up as soon as possible. And then about a week went by and I hadn't heard anything from the company. They give you their tracking number. It said that the carrier was still waiting on the parcel to be delivered, meaning that Jaclyn Cosmetics hadn't even given the package to USPS. You know, I completely 100% understand the fact that people are understaffed right now and that things are running, you know, just a little bit slower, but in my opinion, as a professional company, do not promise or even offer 2-day shipping if you know it's something that you can't do. And on top of that, if you know that you can't do the 2-day shipping and you thought you should, I shouldn't have to go out of my way to contact you. They should have contacted me saying, hey, you know, your package is going to be delayed, which literally every other company does. So they were nice enough to return the shipping because I did pay extra for it, which I greatly appreciated, whatever. So then I tried the products. Clearly, you guys will see I do not like some of them and I wanted to return them. So I emailed them, hey, you know, this is my order number. I want to return these items, blah, blah, blah. So usually most places will send you a shipping label. That way you don't have to pay for shipping. They wouldn't even give me a shipping label. They were like, it's not a part of our policy, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, I'm not one to complain. I'm very, very easy to please. I'm very easygoing with most things. But, you know, it really bothers me when companies, especially companies built by YouTubers and influencers who know what people and consumers expect out of a company, do not uphold that. You know, I love Jaclyn and I love some of the products that she has, but sometimes like that is just not good enough for me. So I had to pay to return the items, which I wouldn't have spent as much money as I did on those products. I probably wouldn't have even went through the trouble of going to ship them. It makes it a hassle. Why do I have to go jump through all these hoops to return these products? It should not be this hard. I just feel like there's a lot of things that turn me off about my experience that I had with Jaclyn Cosmetics this time. So just to let you guys know, if you try the product and you don't like it, you have to pay for the shipping. Now, if you buy it at Ulta or, you know, wherever, then that's completely different. But they don't offer it at the Ulta that's around me, so I had to buy it off the website. But yeah, just want to go on here and get a little rant. Oh, and also, those eyeshadow toppers, I did not realize that they were $26 a piece. Oh my gosh. I think that's almost as much as I paid for the Hourglass eyeshadow topper that I have. I'm sorry, but they were not anything special to be $26. I honestly think my e.l.f. eyeshadow toppers are better quality than the Jaclyn one. They're okay, but they are not worth $26. Sometimes when I film the video, I don't remember how much I paid for the product. Sometimes how much you pay for the product will say a lot. Like, would I pay for this again? No, I would not pay for it again. I'm going to continue to use it because it's nice, but I would not repurchase it. Really disappointing. And I gave them a very nice email saying, you know, I hope that in the future you guys take these things into consideration because it makes it a lot harder for the consumer. Yeah, that's my mini rant. That is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.